Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm hoping to have some people join me live. I hope you are doing really, really well. I've got my coffee in my lovely deer mug. I just love deer. I just feel like they're a spirit animal or something. I'm just a little obsessed with deer. And trees. The wellness tree, that picture, it's not the wellness tree, but I love this picture because the wellness tree is something that I feel that it's just my world, and I just really want to share that with you and show everyone here that wherever you are on your sober journey, sober curious journey, whether you're working on drinking less or whether you're moving towards none, working towards that sober lifestyle, maybe you're not too sure where you sit with alcohol. I just want to give you some hope. And today is all about the nurture. Because this is the most important thing, is nurture. Nurturing ourselves, nurturing everything that is important to us, nurturing our loved ones, and really making sure that everything is taken care of. So welcome. I can see a few people joining me live. So good to have you with me live. And if you're watching the replay, you're on replay. A big warm hello to you too. Now, I welcome comments and questions, so hopefully I can see these on my phone. If there's anything that you want to ask, feel free to ask. So I've been feeling a little reminiscing this week about really where I am now, which is 9 years into my alcohol freedom journey, sober journey, whatever you want to call it. I don't really resonate with any of these labels. To me, it's about soul freedom. And that really has been a very imperfect journey. And if you've been following me for a while, you will know that I often talk about drinking experiments that I had in the early days when I decided to stop drinking. I really want to go back to the time when I was really in a sorry, I've got a bit of a croaky voice still, just getting over an old cough. I was in a very confusing time, which is where I see so many people, the world of grey area drinking. And I am a qualified grey area drinking coach, and I'm so grateful that I had that training, because it's really helped me to understand more about myself. And so that helps me to understand you guys more, clients, people with specific problems. And we all have the same ones. I hear the same things all of the time. Like, why can't I just stop drinking? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just get this? There's nothing wrong with you. So know that first. There's nothing wrong with you. And to be honest, most people are struggling with over-drinking, drinking too much, whether they're aware of it or not. And there are many, many people who don't have that level of self-awareness, and it's causing chaos in their lives. And yet they don't want to look at it. They don't want to do anything about it. And you're here in this group, you joined this group because you are aware about it. You are aware that there's a problem, things don't feel right, and you want to do something about it. Now, that's a whole journey in itself, and I want to really reassure you that I was there too. I totally understand it. I understand the confusion in our mind, feeling like two different people, buying wine or alcohol, drinking when we said we wouldn't, the string of broken, empty promises, and feeling like we're letting ourselves down and other people down, waking up at 3 a.m. with anxiety, with guilt, with shame, promising to never do it again. and we make incredible efforts, we make incredible intentions to start afresh all over again. And we get the plan, we get the journal, we get the sober books, we get all of the things. Healthy eating, we kind of revamp our whole life in 24 hours. And then we get all this energy for liftoff, and then, you know, we sort of do really well, and then it feels like something happens. We're holding a lot. We're holding a lot. And I want to reassure you that I get it, and there are specific things that we need to understand even before we come up with a plan and we think about how we're going to do this. And actually, this is a feeling journey. It's not so much a thinking. Yes, there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of planning, which gets to be really fun. And that's the work that we're doing in my Strong Roots community. And you can do this. And honestly, your best friend is going to be a journal. If you're not journaling already, I highly recommend it, because that's what I did. That's what really helped me in my first year sober, especially, which was really difficult, actually, facing all of the first things without alcohol, like evenings, weekends, holidays, birthdays, going to parties, socialising. I'm not much of a socialiser, to be honest. I'm quite an introvert, but there were small gatherings and things I'd go to where other people were drinking, and some of them were with family or extended family, and they didn't understand why I wasn't drinking. And it was all sort of navigating those, what felt like really difficult conversations, and how to do that and how to transition. And at the same time, you know, this is where I want to rewind, because I didn't just arrive at this decision. I did, but it took a lot of build up to get there. So I was really trying to moderate my drinking for a long time. And when I realised I was drinking too much, so I knew this, and it wasn't something I was open about, I wasn't talking about it. My husband, my boyfriend at the time, was... Actually, it started a few years before he was in hospital. So he had a life-saving heart transplant in the end. He's doing great now. But before that, he was ill with heart failure for several years, where I was looking after him, and it was really, really worrying. I was having high anxiety. I'd had a history of anxiety, really huge, very difficult to manage anxiety, and panic attacks and fainting. And so when I was trying to not drink, this was really coming to the surface, because one of the reasons I was drinking was to try and settle my anxiety. And so I was trying to navigate feeling really anxious, feeling really overwhelmed, really unsafe, and especially dealing with things going on with my husband, my boyfriend, and not understanding what was going on and really how to manage the whole situation. So I noticed my drinking was more, and when I found wine, because I never used to like wine, but when I sort of discovered it, it was when we were first dating. And we were going to the pub. We were going to the pub at weekends, really. And it was really, really fun. And I just feel my throat getting a bit dry. So I then started buying wine on the way home from work, really because I was in a job that I didn't really like. It was paying the bills. It wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was all I knew. So I was in retail originally. I was managing a village shop. It used to be fun, but then it wasn't, and they changed ownerships, and I stayed on, and it was run very differently, and basically everything was on me because I'd been there for ages. I knew how everything worked. I knew how to manage things. I knew basically how to run the business. But it was a lot, and I didn't really enjoy it, and I didn't feel lit up, and something different was calling, and I didn't know what. And drinking kind of brought some fun to that really sort of mundane, boring, like plodding along world that just felt, I felt like life was passing me by. There was something more for me, but I didn't know what it was. And really, when I look back, the drinking problems were actually gifts. They were actually the thing that I was eventually going to be able to help women to navigate through and transform through. Only I didn't know that at the time. No, I had to go through all of the all of the struggles and the problems and experience it all of myself, and then to go kind of through all the training that I had to understand those problems and all of that. So let me go back. I remember feeling very, very confused about who I was. I thought drinking was fun initially. I looked forward to my glass bottle of wine at the end of the day. But then I didn't like it when I used to go to bed from having drunk too much, and the room was spinning and I felt really sick. I had this horrible acidy tummy. I'd also been eating junk food, watching the TV, just binging. I also loved buying things on impulse. One of my favourite things to buy was personal development books and things to make me feel better and things to make me think that I had the good intentions of working on myself. And I'd spend so much money and I'd get into debt and I ran up these huge credit card bills and things like that. And I, anyway, finally got sick and tired of not having enough energy, feeling like crap all the time, cancelling things, just not turning up for work, ringing in sick or whatever. And I thought, you know what? I just need to overhaul my life. I need to change. I think I need to stop drinking, because I had tried to moderate for a long time. And while some people can, most people choose not to, because they experience moderation and they can do it for a while, but then they drink more and then they think, why am I doing this? And the real problem is they are thinking about drinking or not drinking so much all of the time, and it takes up a lot of headspace. And our brain uses a lot of power. It requires a lot of energy. And so what happens is eventually people come to the decision, that's it, I'm not going to drink anymore. But the anymore forever thing then becomes this like ding, ding, ding scary moment. And they are then toggling between drinking and over drinking, and then making promises to stop, I'm going to stay stopped, that's it. And actually there's this gap. And we focus all of our attention on this not drinking, I'm not drinking. And what I realised quite a long way on down my journey, because I did stop drinking, and by the way, the easiest way to tackle this is by just taking a break. Just don't think about forever, but just give yourself a break. And it doesn't matter how long that is. It can be a month. I think a month is a really, really nice time scale. I had to work towards a month. I had to work towards a week, because even just a few days sober felt like I'd been sober for like a year. So it's definitely something you have to work towards. And this is where the nurture piece comes in, because we so often beat ourselves up, and that's something we hear about, like, don't beat yourself up, just be kind to yourself. But sometimes we don't know how to do that. And so here's what I did actually. I really focused on the basic needs of being a human being, the basic needs that take care of ourselves, which are drinking enough water, staying hydrated, eating regularly, making sure you're fueled, making sure you're getting enough sleep, going to bed early. And our sleeping patterns can be very odd, especially when we stop drinking. Alcohol really, really interferes with our sleep, and this has that knock-on effect onto the next day. But bringing in that really kind, compassionate voice, and I would have that inner critic, and I still have this inner critic voice quite often. And it's really noticing that critical voice, and it can sound like a parent or very sort of judgmental, and just catching that voice and just almost like, I was actually talking about this very thing with a friend the other day, and we were talking about this critical voice, and especially if we've wobbled off track, and it can sound like, oh my God, you're just rubbish. What, you're a failure. You're back to day one again. Like, come on, pull yourself together. It's not kind. And would you speak to a friend like that? Honestly, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. So on your shoulder, imagine two things. Here we have a great, fat, horrible, gremlin sort of monster. And it's that inner critic. It's that yakety yak, you should have done this better. You're rubbish, okay? And that can be really loud. I want you to bring in your angel on your other shoulder. She is you. She is the highest version of you, the version of you that is already doing this, that is already living the life, the dream life that you want to be living. The simple, healthy, happy, rooted, organised, just best life that you want, right? She has that. She's your angel. And she's huge. She's really light on your shoulder, but she's big, she's bright, she's bold, she's confident. She has all her faith in you. And her voice is totally the opposite. It's the cheerleader, it's the nurturing voice that you want. It's the kind, it's the coach, it's the listener, it's everything that you are looking for. And what do you need her to say to you today? It could be like, come on, Kath, you've got this. Okay, it's all gone tits up. You wobbled off track last week because it was really stressful. A million things were happening. Kids were running around in the background. Dog was playing up. Work was feeling heavy. I just needed space to breathe. I just needed space, like life was feeling heavy. I needed time out. Okay, great. No drama. It's done. It's done. And we can move on. Let's make a plan. And this is actually something we're working on in Strong Roots, because I'm bringing this into my own life now. Weekly resets, weekly reviews, making sure we're tracking, even tracking the days that go tits up. Because we need to have the results, we need to have the evidence, because this is how we get to tweak, change and course correct. There's no shame in saying, I didn't stay on track. It's a fact, but we load it with meaning. It doesn't mean anything. It just is a cue for us to say, okay, how can I make an on-track day this week or next week? What can I do? Do I need more support? Do I need accountability? Do I need more self-care? Do I need to create some space? Do I need to switch off? Do I need to be unavailable? do I need a little bit of fun? Like, what do I need? Do I need to eat better, get some early nights in, create an evening ritual that feels really good? What do I need? And this can feel like, where do I even start? Come and join Strong Roots, because we're working on this together. You don't have to have it all figured out. This is something I used to think, oh, I need to know what to do. I need to know everything. Like, I just don't know. I'm useless. And honestly, it feels really messy. But in Strong Roots and here, we embrace the mess. It's so important. I'll tell you something, when we start talking about things, when we start talking about, I did this yesterday with, I'm in my coach's, her mini program, and I talked about something yesterday that felt really, really yucky, and I just thought, oh, and actually talking about it, I felt really sick, but it's something that I wanted to talk about because it was a realization I'd had about myself, wasn't proud of it, didn't like it, and I realized it was something that was coming from a child sort of place from me. It was that little child of me that was still running the show in some areas of my life. And so I talked about it, and my coach was like, I have that too sometimes. I really get it. And this is the opportunity where, well, actually that made me feel really relieved, because I thought, thank goodness, I'm not like weird and feeling alone with this. Actually, it's being human. It's being human. And when we talk about things, it really is medicine for other people. And I really believe so much in embracing the mess, embracing not having it all together, because this is a transformational journey we're on. We're doing this hard inner work, like all of our stuff comes up. We're not meant to have it all figured out. And doing it together is so key. Having a community, or having maybe a one-to-one accountability partner, having a friend, having a space where you can just be yourself. And that's what's so important that we create, and especially in this group here all together. People are on different paths. We're all on that same alcohol freedom journey at different places, and we've all got our own ways of doing it. And what I love about the wellness tree is it's very middle way. There's no rights, there's no wrongs. Some people are working on drinking less right now. They're not quite ready to let it go, and that's okay. And what's really important is that you have a plan that is holding you, that's helping you to build strong roots as you are figuring out how to let that drinking go. Because what happens sometimes with some people is, if they stop drinking, it can be way too scary for the nervous system, and we're ding, 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 and it doesn't feel safe, because we have taught our bodies, our nervous systems, everything, that to survive, we use drinking as a coping mechanism. So we're not doing anything wrong, but that's all we knew how to do in the situation. It was a survival tactic. And all we need to do is to unplug from that and to plug into a healthier, better way of coping with life. But not just coping and surviving, but actually thriving. And this is the work we're doing with the wellness tree. So building this healthy root system. And then when we're ready, we can learn to let that drinking go, and we can start to create some on-track days that are alcohol-free, that are feeling more aligned with sobriety in the direction that we're going in. But what we need to do is to not focus on that. We need to focus on the nurture, the self-care, and really the nourishment. When we plant a seed, we're first of all thinking about the environment in which we're planting it. We need to prepare our soil and make it healthy, our environment. We're doing We are going to be doing this work in Strong Roots, really the inner environment, the outer environment, and preparing your stage, preparing your platform where you are going to shine. When we plant a seed, we're preparing the soil, and the seed is happy there. They're like, this is my home, this is where I'm going to plant my roots. And for us as human beings, this is kind of where we're starting to grow our first root, because we need to know really what we want, why we want it. So why do we want to work towards a sober life? Why is that? To help with this, think of all of the reasons why you don't want to continue where you are. So what are the specific problems that alcohol is causing? So how is it affecting your relationship with yourself, your relationship with other people? How is it affecting your family and being present? How is it affecting the care and the responsibilities that you are in your life? You know, what are your responsibilities and how you're showing up for them? How is it affecting your health, your body, things you can't see? How is it affecting your mindset, your brain, your thoughts? How is it affecting that relationship with yourself? Do you want to be proud, more connected, more present? How is it affecting your money? How is it affecting your work, your career, your business, your mission? How is it affecting your sleep? What is your home like? Is it organised and clear? Can you breathe? Do you feel at peace in your home? Or is it cluttered and chaos? The washing up is crying out to be washed. The ironing needs to be ironed. There's drawers you open, you're looking for the paracetamol and you're like, oh, I must tidy out this drawer. There's so many things, aren't there? So something I'm working on in my own journey at the moment is getting organised. Really, that's part of nurturing ourselves, is being organised. And when we're organised in our home, in our things, when we have less clutter, less dirt, less stuff, we feel better inside, we feel better mentally. And when we nurture our world and all of the things in our world and our people, and we're giving in a loving way, it's really bringing love into all of our different life areas, which the Wellness Tree shows us how to do. What we want to be doing when we're thinking about this is tapping into the new identity, tapping into that angel on our shoulder, and just thinking, right, this is the version of me that I want to become. She's not a million miles away. She's right here. And maybe you have already made some incredible changes already. Maybe you've been really on it with your diet. You've been drinking loads of water. You've been going to the gym or doing your yoga or whatever works for you. You've been doing your habits. You've got a morning ritual. Maybe it's all going well, or you're a bit inconsistent, but you've pretty much got the structure there. And on the outside, it's all looking great. And maybe you can see you've lost weight, or you can see you look different and you're noticing sleep's better and things. But maybe on the inside, you still feel like the old you. You don't feel it. So this is where there's a disconnect. This is amazing, and you've already done some incredible work and made huge progress. And what's missing is this identity work. It's the actual rewiring work. So it's like if you notice your phone needs charging, and you grab your charger and you put the charger into your phone, but nothing's happening. Because you suddenly realise, oh, I haven't plugged the charger into the wall socket and switched it on. So you do that and then, chung, there you go, it's charging. It's the same thing. It's like we're only doing half of the thing. We need to connect the other bit up as well. And so this is the work we're going to be doing in Strong Roots, because this is the identity work. And this is root 2. And this is all about, so first of all, understanding what we want, why we want it. This is understanding the habits. The habits, are they the ones that we actually want to be doing? And think of the new version of you. So if you're a visual person, if you can visualize yourself as the new version of you, who's not drinking, who's doing the things, the habits you want to be doing, or maybe you feel this better, go with what works for you. Think about, what would that version of me do today? And what is one small step I can do today to be in alignment with who I want to become? It could just be some small thing. What is the smallest thing you could do? Perhaps it's just reconnecting with your tribe. Perhaps it's making a post here. If you're in my Strong Roots community, maybe it's popping a little message in our group chat. If it's you've got a friend that you really, really trust and you want to connect with, just dropping them a little private message. Perhaps it's just writing in your journal, okay, I'm ready. It's time for a fresh start. It's time for a new beginning. You're arriving here with messy chaos, heavy energy, tired of the cycle you've been in, and just ready to create a new start. So I really understand that today, at the time of this video, we're in November. We are on the run up to holiday, crazy festive season. And I remember 9 years ago, so I stopped drinking in September 2016. That I did have a few drinking experiments, which I've often spoken about. But in my mind, I was like, right, I'm going to do this. And I used to be really scared of doing a sober Christmas. I used to think, oh my God, I'm just that Christmas without wine, without sherry. I used to love Harvey's Bristol Cream. And I thought, oh, that's so boring. I did a massive mindset shift. And what I did is I decided to look at this from a different view. And I went into my heart, I put my hand on my heart, and I asked myself, what do I really want? If I just put alcohol to the side for the moment, what really matters to me? How do I want Christmas and my life going forwards to really look? And I was looking ahead into the new year, and I asked myself what I wanted. I wanted to feel better about myself. I wanted to feel not sick anymore. I wanted to feel healthy. I wanted to get more of a hold on the anxiety I was feeling. I wanted to just take better care of myself. I wanted to be more on top of things. I wanted to stop avoiding. I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to take ownership for things, and I could see the heaviness it was causing to avoid looking at certain things in my life, like not drinking or eating healthily, drinking my water. And I knew when I did these things, I felt so much better. And I really did have this choice of, well, either I could go on just drinking way too much, trying not to drink, or, start with sobriety. And to be honest, I reached this point where enough was enough. I'm just done. And I remember thinking, here you go, universe, you have this bundle of stuff. You can have my problems. I'm done. I'm not available for this anymore. I'm totally like, no, I didn't come here to live my life with this problem. And so I shifted the whole perspective and I thought, right, how do I really want to feel? How do I want to feel about Christmas and next year and going forwards? And it came down to one thing. I wanted to learn to live in the present moment. And I wanted to be able to sit in what I call the void of that wanting something. I used to hunt all of the time for something to fill the emptiness I felt inside. I was sick of the hunting. It didn't stop there because I did stop drinking and then I hit the sugar even more. And that was my original thing from when I was 5 years old, was binging on sugar, comfort eating. And that problem came back. And so it's been a really long journey of practicing, sitting with the discomfort, sitting with the frustration of falling off track thousands and thousands of times. Like literally hammering the floorboards with my fists in anger because I was so sick and tired of myself. And why can't I get this? I was in tears. So many times. I was frustrated. I was upset. And every Friday was like, right, I'm just going to buy wine just for this weekend. Just buying enough just in case. I'll be good on Monday. I'll start again Monday. Like every Monday was a new start. And I think this is the thing, really, isn't it? We just have to get to this place, and it's so individual, where we get to this place and it's like life is so precious. Life is so precious. And having been through watching my husband go through having a heart transplant, and before that feeling or just accepting the fact that I was going to lose him, he wasn't going to make it. He was literally weeks from death, and he was saved. Thank goodness he was saved. Like, I surrendered to the fact that I was going to lose him. What that journey has taught me is the preciousness of life. It's taught me that trying to navigate the hell time of being with him, with all of that, hospitals, transplants, surgery, everything, not knowing if he was going to be okay, that whole anxiety. I was drinking at that time as well. I was drinking because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know how to cope with it. And what I realised, actually, that was another time when I attempted to go sober. I finally realised this is much easier to deal with a clear head. But then I moved on to the sugar as a coping mechanism, but at least I wasn't drinking. But yeah, it's a journey. I'm going to have to wrap this up because I have a client. But the message today, gorgeous souls, is wherever you are, make sure you're nurturing your world. Nurture yourself. Remember that angel on your shoulder, the devil, whatever you want to call it, the monster, the horrible yak critic voice. It will melt. We want to build this angel up, and this will melt. And yeah, just keep going. If you want to join Strong Roots, if you want the information, you would love to just start working with me in a really gentle way. Strong Roots is just so gorgeous. It's a really gentle door opening into the wellness tree and learning how to really create strong roots, create the safety within, have the tools, have the structure, have the organisation, have the tools to navigate, work with your nervous system, have the community, others doing it alongside you. Just drop me a message, either put roots in the chat, in the comments below, roots, or send me a private message with the word roots, and I'll send you the details and you can see if it's something you would love to join. And I'm really excited because we are going to be navigating this holiday season together. It's for you if you're working on drinking less, you're working towards drinking nothing, or you're currently drinking nothing and you want to stay stopped, you want to stay consistent. And what we do in Strong Roots is we work on creating on-track days. So whether you're drinking less or none, it's creating your own personal on-track day that feels really good for you. And then we track, we see how many we can create each week. So if this sounds good, let me know, drop roots below or send me a DM with the word roots. Hope this has helped, hope this has brought some comfort to you. And if you want to connect with me on Messenger, I love to connect. Wishing you a happy Thursday. Hope all is well in your world. And yeah, take care, gorgeous souls. See you all again soon. Bye.